16 things I wish I knew before visiting Scotland. All right, this one's coming from Destination Well Known. This was a recommendation. Okay, so yeah, I think it's been a long time since I've done like a breakdown of the UK and the different countries. But yeah, Scotland is a country. It is not, however, an independent sovereign state. Instead, it's a constituent country that is part of the political union known as the United Kingdom. Okay, all right, just had to clarify that really quick. All right, so without further ado, I'll stop embarrassing myself. Let's hop in and check out 16 things I wish I knew before visiting Scotland.
So I lived in Scotland and I fell so hard for the place that when I moved back home, I started a travel company just so I had an excuse to keep going back. I spent years building trips up there and guiding my own groups around the country from Edinburgh all the way up into the Highlands. So this isn't me telling you what I read in a guidebook. This is the stuff I learned the hard way, the stuff my guests were always surprised by, and a few things I really wish someone had told me before my first trip to Scotland.
Perfect. All right, cool. One of the world's best train rides starts here. It starts in Scotland? Because I'm taking a train to Scotland, but probably not this one. All right.
A lot of people assume you need to rent a car to see the Highlands. You don't. One of the most beautiful train journeys in the world starts in Glasgow and runs right up through one of the most incredible parts of this planet. It's called the West Highland Line, and about halfway up it crosses the Glenfinnan Viaduct. You'll recognize it instantly. It's the bridge the Hogwarts Express crosses in the Harry Potter films. The line ends in a little fishing town called Mallaig, where you can hop straight onto a ferry over to the Isle of Skye, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Beautiful landscape. All right, the map is lying to you.
If you do rent a car, throw your expectations out the window, because Scotland may look small on a map, but once you're up in some parts of the Highlands or on the islands, the roads turn into single lanes with little passing places every few hundred meters. You know, you pull in, you let the other car through, you wave, they wave, everyone's lovely about it, and it's beautiful, but a drive that looks like an hour on a map can easily take 2 or 3 hours. Don't try to do the whole country in 3 days. You know, you'll spend the entire trip in the car and see none of it properly. In Edinburgh and Glasgow, you've got thousands of beds, so you can be a bit more relaxed. Everywhere else in Scotland, book early, like really early. A lot of these Highland towns and island villages have maybe just a handful of places to stay, and
I don't know, when I was looking, there is quite a few available. At the time I was looking out pretty far, but seemed not too bad. I was just checking like Airbnb, and then there was this other website which was we're not using that one, but it was like Unique Homes or something like that, like Unique Cottages, but
fill up months in advance over summer. If you got a route planned, lock in your accommodation before you do anything else. And I will put some of my all-time favorite hotels in Scotland in the description below.
Edinburgh is even better.
We've all done it, seen a place online, got excited, then turned up and gone, oh, is that it? Edinburgh is not that. If anything, the photos undersell it. You've got a medieval old town built up a hill.
I will say, when they were here at the World Cup in America, in Boston specifically, the videos that were coming out were insane. They just seem like, y'all seem like the nicest people, any Scots watching.
To be honest, if you come up through England first, the difference is going to hit you like a truck. Bless the English, they are really lovely, especially up north. But if you came straight from London up to Bonnie, Scotland, you're in for a nice surprise. Suddenly everyone's...
That's like exactly what I'm doing.
Chatting away to you, and you can't work out what you've done to deserve it. And a wee heads up, if a Scot is winding you up, you're in, that's them liking you.
Good to know.
One of the best things you can do in Scotland is go to the pub. And I don't mean to get hammered, I mean, the pub is where the country actually comes together, especially in the smaller towns where the local pub is basically the living room of the whole village. So when you go to the local pub, be friendly towards the regulars, maybe sit at the bar on your own, and within 10 minutes someone will probably be talking to you, or you can start chatting with the barman. Then you'll get the best food tips in the area and the best walking routes and just the best stories from a stranger over a pint in this awesome little pub. You might think the kilt is just a thing they wheel out for.
I'm so glad that he's covering this. I have so many questions about the kilt. And he says it's not a costume. We're going to let him speak. But from my perception from the outside, looking in, or when they're outside in other countries wearing the kilt, I'm always like, do they just all have these and they like pull them out for like special events or something? Or do people actually wear them around? I have no idea. So I'm super curious about this.
For photos. It's not. Scots actually wear them. Go to any Scottish wedding and half the men will be in full dress. It's formal wear here, you know, the equivalent of a
formal
tuxedo.
wear.
So if you see a group of lads in kilts on a Saturday, they are not doing it for you. They are probably going to a wedding.
Nice. Okay.
The Isle of Skye gets talked about a lot, and sometimes when a place is that
Don't
high,
ruin this for me.
it lets you down. The Isle of Skye doesn't. It's all dramatic mountains, waterfalls, and these strange rock formations that look like something out of a fantasy film. The catch is, everyone knows it now, so the famous spots get busy. My tip is to stay overnight on the island instead of doing it as a day trip, and honestly you could easily spend a week alone on the Isle of Skye.
The hairy coos are real. The hairy coos. Okay.
You've seen the photos. The big ginger cows with the massive horns and the fringe hanging over their eyes. They are called Highland cattle or hairy coos if you want to sound local. And they are everywhere up north, just stood in fields looking majestic and slightly confused perhaps. They are ridiculously photogenic and weirdly chilled out, but they are still big animals with big horns, so maybe don't go climbing into a field to cuddle one for an Instagram photo.
Scotland's most famous loch isn't worth it.
Alright, here's the one that will annoy some people, I guess. Loch Ness is overrated.
Yeah, I wasn't going here.
I said it. It's a very long, very deep and very dark lake, and that's kind of it, I'm afraid. As far as I know, there's not even a monster, and the visitor stuff around the lake is pretty tacky and it just feels old and not nice. Scotland has hundreds of lochs that are far more beautiful. If you got the time to spare and you want to see Loch Ness, fine, but maybe don't build your whole trip around Nessie. You will probably be a bit underwhelmed. Let me warn you about the midges. They are tiny biting flies, smaller than a pinhead, and in the Highlands in summer they swarm in clouds of thousands. They don't really hurt as such, but they will drive you completely bloody insane.
Biting flies are the absolute fucking worst. We have them here as well, and they are a pain in the ass. I don't know though. I would take biting flies over mosquitoes pretty much any day. I've been getting attacked all around my ankles for the last month because as soon as spring and summer rolls around, usually like late spring into summer, the mosquitoes just go absolutely insane around
They're worse
here.
from June to August, near water and on muggy evenings with no wind. So bring proper midge repellent. I think the locals swear by one called smidge.
Okay. The truth about haggis. I don't want to give anything too much away. I've mentioned that I have a Scotland trip coming up, and I really want to try haggis, but I'm a little nervous about it. All right, let's hear it. Is it good? Is it not good?
I know what you've heard. We've all heard it. It's a sheep's stomach stuffed with all the bits you don't want to think about, but haggis is delicious. Have it the proper way with neeps and tatties. That's mashed turnip and potato. Don't overthink it, just order it once.
Okay.
There's a bright orange fizzy drink here called Iron Brew, and Scots are obsessed with it. It's one of the only countries on Earth where a local soft drink goes probably toe to toe with Coca-Cola, which tells you something. Nobody can really describe the flavor. I guess it's sort of sweet, sort of citrusy with a weird little hint of metal. It's their other national drink after whiskey, and it's the unofficial cure here for a hangover.
Well, I'll be definitely hitting whiskey. I might have to try one of those.
Scotland's national animal is a unicorn, an actual mythical unicorn. You'll start spotting it everywhere once you look, carved onto buildings, on flags, and on official crests all over the country. The story goes, I think, that it was chosen because the unicorn was seen as a proud and untamable beast, which is a very Scottish thing to want as your symbol.
Don't bring an umbrella.
Do not rely on an umbrella in Scotland. It rains, of course, but it's the wind that gets you. The rain always comes sideways, and your umbrella will be inside out and dead within about 4 seconds. What you actually need is a proper waterproof jacket with a hood, and honestly, guys, pack for 4 seasons, even in the summertime, because you really can get all 4 in a single afternoon up here in Scotland. Alright, if you've been to Scotland, I want to hear it. What surprised you the most, and what would you add to?
Alright, that was like extremely helpful for me. This is one of the few videos that I watch where I was like, I have to watch this because I need to know. Alright, I'm getting out of here. Scotland, 16 things. I learned a little bit there. Yeah, I'm still trying haggis. I was on the fence about it, but I'm trying it. Getting out of here. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.